Hello everyone, this is Emo and today we will be reviewing One Piece chapter 1035, Zoro vs King. This was a really good chapter for me, a 10 out of 10 chapter for me, and one of the best fights we have seen in Onigashima so far. Let's start by talking about the ending of the last chapter, when we see Sanji hitting Queen with a barrage of kicks, then one strong hit that, as we see in this chapter, sent Queen flying, and depending on which direction he flew out, he could end up if he falls in the water. And one more thing to add about the Sanji versus Queen fight. Queen was introduced in chapter 9035, and Queen was defeated in One Piece chapter 1035. And that is insane by Oda. Props to you. And then we see a wholesome moment from Sanji when he's giving Choji back to AWSOME, and he remembers his time at the Germa Kingdom when he used to feed mice. And we see Sanji allegedly getting knocked out, but I think it's just a pervy joke, nothing more. I think Sanji is at his limit, but I think he got knocked out due to a nosebleed, or just I'm sure he has hearts on his face right now. We then cut to Zoro vs King, where we continue, I think, where we left off, where we see Zoro cutting King and actually making him bleed and cutting off his mask, and we actually see King's face, which is surprisingly really good. And Zoro figures out how King's body works. When the flame is on his back, he gets faster, but he is weaker. But when it's not on his back, it acts as a defense for him, as like a shield for him, but he is slower. I think the flame works like Gaara's sand from Naruto, where I think it automatically defends. I'm not sure about it. And I love that Zoro has said the same words that Sanji had said the last chapter, which is, I don't have much time. If we keep dragging this out, both of us are getting weaker. And he also said, but you have had your time on top, now you've got to make some room for us. Which is basically the same as when Sanji told Queen, if this fight has been dragging on for long now, and both of us are getting weaker, and I can't let you keep dominating the fight. It's the same, and I love this parallel. And Zoro adds to all his attacks now King of Hell. And King of Hell, of course, I think is when he puts his swords with Conqueror's Haki coating. And we see a flashback of Kaido and King, where Kaido is really young in this flashback, that he doesn't have a mustache. And I think they were at Punk Hazard, but I'm not sure, where they both were being experimented on. And this is where Kaido recruited King and made him his right-hand man. And I think this has a parallel to when Luffy saved Zoro in the very first chapters of One Piece, where Zoro was tied up and Luffy came and freed him, and from that point onward Zoro became his first crew member. I think the same goes here for King. And then as the fight drags on, Zoro didn't fall for the same two times, which is the sword trick in which King gets your swords out of Zoro's hand. I think he flipped in the same direction as the swords were flipping, so they wouldn't be taken from him. And Zoro uses new attacks such as the bird dance, in which he cuts King a very brutal cut. And he says the same thing that Luffy told Kaido on the rooftop. When Luffy told Kaido that you're dodging my attacks, that means they're making damage to you. The same was said here in this chapter. And as we see the final attacks, we see King attacking with Imperial Guardian Fire Dragon, and Zoro attacking with King of Hell Santo Ryu 103 Senses Soaring Jokyu Dragon. and he slays the flame dragon and cuts King in the process. This was a really good chapter, as I said in the beginning of the chapter, and Zoro cutting a flame dragon, I think this is the most we will get from the ZKK lovers. I really enjoyed this chapter, and I really hope you too enjoyed this review, and please like and subscribe, as it really helps me a lot.